That's always the way that we get with teams that are unknowns or teams that we haven't seen too much of before. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to offer here. And the map, or at least the first and third map, are the maps that they did well on when they played versus Vitality. So I think it's definitely an advantage to Leviathan. Let's not be silly. They have been performing very well over the last stage. But there's definitely still hope for the China number 3 already. Going to be kicking things off on their attack side. This is where they only lost the pistol and every other round went their way versus Vitality. For now, at least. The game is sort of ground to a halt. There's quite a bit of space taken by Fong Fong, but it's whether or not he can get anything done. The answer is no, but his teammates can.
It's a bit of a shutdown. 4 versus 2 off rip. Pistol round could be online early on. TP by Mazzino. They know that he's here and they're backing off. Trace looking to give the space away, taking control instead towards the lamps. And over behind that box, 2 players tucked in. The cams already reconfirmed the information. And that wall is causing a bit of a problem for Com. They have to expend a lot of ammo to break that open, and they use it to bait in, locking into the fight. A good start. Still that trap. 2 players stood in behind that box, and Kai's the first to strike. Com now left in an uphill battle. A tough position. At least lands the first, but the time is ticking away. He has to get on that spike soon. Has to root these players out of position, and the double swing. Very close, but not close enough. It's 1-0 to the Chinese squad.
Yeah, I think the time had already gone, so that's why you see the double face towards the end. But I do like just how they're playing their post plants. Relatively safe, but also just having that double up in an uncharacteristic position. And again, we just see the value of the solid timing. I think this team has a lot of really good fundamentals where you're not seeing them make too many mass mistakes, which I think a lot of the teams we've seen like burst onto the international stage or come into the international stage have had as problems. The fact as well that Fong Fong has been able to get that far forward in the early round is something that might have to be thought about, but of course, it's early days here for Leviathan.
And early round 2, you can see that Leviathan have stacked up A. They've got a lot of space, having already pushed straight down A short, so the timer is ticking for Trace to get into B. Com doing his best to slow them down, and there is a rotation from Mazzino, but he'll be here too late to do anything. Walking out to the site, just a pistol in hand, and he is quickly dealt with. The site now completely under Trace's control. The flank may be able to find some value, though, from Aspas and Tex. It is being watched, though. It's not going to be found for free, but a battle against these two could go either way.
Well, the other thing as well is the way that Tracy using the barrier is it just isolates players. So King is just having to wait at the moment because he's completely locked off from a teammate. It means that there's not an easy way back in, and in fact, we're going to see King just go in the other direction. Nice shot from Kai. Looking like they'll keep this one nice and clean unless there's some sort of mistake. And Texas' position could be that mistake. A gap left in the armor. A re-rotation. They've kind of got lost at where Com was, but the shot's not quite clean enough. Even still, Tex has done fantastic work.
Yeah, good damage at the end of the day. No chance to defuse that spike, and both players falling to it, all for the economy. A 2-0 start nonetheless. And 3 weapons carried forward to the next. It's not a terrible start for the attacking side, but here's where the guns come out on the defense and where Leviathan have a chance to put rounds on the board.
Yeah, it's safe to say as well that I think that this choice for Trace is a good one. It's a map that regionally hadn't been going great over the last stage, lost it 3 times in a row to solid opposition. You're talking about the likes of FPX, Titan, JDG, but ultimately it didn't look great. But after their victory versus Vitality and a close victory for Leviathan versus Talon, clearly feeling confident in what they can do with this comp. The buy, though, it's not the best. A couple of pistols will be in play, and I think if they win this one, that would be a pretty impressive start. They've done a lot of damage, actually. Com almost down already.
I definitely started out as a hater of the deadlock, but looking at Trace playing it last time, certainly started to sell me on it. In the first couple of rounds, I agree. That barrier has been a bit of a problem early on. Leviathan control over Bath. Orb taken, space taken. And it's going to slow down the round for Trace by quite a bit. When it comes to blow, they haven't really got the weapons. Instead, they're going to use the numbers to try to overwhelm that A site. 3 players stacked up, though, and big players at that. Aspas, the first line of defense. And he's going to get an opportunity as this smoke fades.
40 seconds on the clock. Execution now beginning, but King, as we saw last time out, kicking things off with a bang. Already going to isolate the rotation, make it a little bit harder, but the players on site are already doing an impressive job from Leviathan, but there is a trade back from BNK, at least making it competitive.
And they're starting to get some of these sonic sensors up, trying to throw in a curveball in case Leviathan get aggressive and take some space. Immediately Mazzino dropping locking, that's a problem. The spike needs to get on the ground, and they know that swing can come in from Bath. 8 seconds now, and they're isolated. No chance to put the spike on the floor until the round is over. 2-1 we go. Leviathan have bought right back into it. 4 players alive as well. It's a very successful round for the defensive side.
Yeah, I think just being a little bit more committed to that A side, as said, like the way that the barrier can sort of isolate teammates from being able to rotate, and obviously more of a problem in the pistol than any other round, but also just holding on to some of the aggressive control. Like, you're not allowing them to get deep through lamps, you're not allowing them to have that showers control, and just denying that space, it makes this execution a whole lot harder, and also just the weaker weaponry in general is always going to be a difficult round for Trace. Now though, we're going to have the buyback in. The only ultimate available right now is going to be the Thrash for Tex, and he was someone in their first match who had a fantastic performance.
Big battle from Mazzino, the sprays through the orb doing damage. Fung sent back the other direction, but most of that was the decay. They'll be in fighting form for the late round, but they've been denied any of that control. The Tigers sent out to seize it back, but nobody up close. Trace definitely want to take control of that area now, but in comes the Thrash and sends them back yet again. It's not committed. It's just going to be capped out for the late round, but it's used to get Mazzino into position alongside the orb. And then Texas jump spotting it. This is a bait play from Leviathan. And Mazzino might be able to catch someone off guard as a result, and he does. The orb back up, and he can get right out of there.
Yeah, wonderful interplay. Heibei's going to be the man trying to lurk back through. But this is also going to be checked. No, it's not. Whoops. Well, you know, it happens to the best of us. It's not going to work out this time. He's able to check long again. Can't quite make it up the box. And in fact, we're going to see a late rotation. The thing is, there's still 2 players here, Aspas and King, patiently waiting for this push to be attempted.
Even after still seeing 1 player outside B, there's just no over-rotations on the Leviathan side, knowing they've got the advantage. Molly now to slow them down even more. And with 15 seconds on the clock, this is getting uncomfortable. Trace have to try to fight for this space, and the nade's gone in. That is going to take Fung off the plant, drop the spike, and with that the round already secured. A follow-up from Aspas gets another nade, and there is no chance even saving the weapon now for Kai. Nearly impossible. Everybody trained in on that position. 2-2, and this round went even better than the last.
That was just a fantastic read from the side of Leviathan. Just not using their utility unless they were pressured over on that A site, and they had a late round Molotov, a late round nade, getting a plant out. They even put a smoke in, so there wasn't really an opportunity for anybody to actually battle versus them. They could just spam through those smokes, and it took ridiculous risks almost just to try and get into position. And then also just the initial combos that you can see the synergy that this team has built over time. And that was the sort of major criticism. When this roster was formed, sure, we knew that there was insane individual ability. They were signing champions winners. Of course, we knew where this was going to head, but the synergy wasn't there. And that is what has happened a lot through stage 2. Com already under pressure, but he's thriving within it.
Talk about this guy being underrated. If he keeps this up, that won't last long. 7-2 already. Big kills, shutting down what could have been a flood straight out of hookah and sending Trace to the other side of the map. They're hoping that Bianche can find the space in the meantime. But even walking out here, you can see it's being watched by King. He's been good at just finding his pick, punishing the space taking on this site. Now it's Tex that's swapped in for him, with the smokes being set up as we speak. And Tex ain't missing a beat. Nice clean kill. Kai low HP, just outside the bath, and the swing up top from Aspas. That is going to close him out. All left into the hands of just one. The Brimstone of locking. He's going to have a tough time with this Sheriff in hand and the spike on the site.
Yeah, any damage he could do here would be nice, but with the smoke fading, it's going to end up with back-to-back flawless rounds for the side of Leviathan. after the pistol and follow-up. Does seem like they found their footing. And I kind of want to comment on that. It is crazy to me that the only guy coming in looking for a back-to-back champions win is underrated. Like, it's like getting the plant, which it takes away a lot of what the value of this comp has.
You saw a lot of pressure put onto the extremities of the map by Leviathan as well. The orbs fed to Tex, got Thrash online so early, and that was what made them pump the brakes twice on their B execution a few rounds ago, leading to the time being the main enemy. Now again, there's a player tucked in the corner. This time they'll clear it, and Bianche's the one to find it. Doubling up in the battle. Seekers go out, Tex in trouble, and it's Bianche's triple that gets the B site for Trace. A 4 versus 2 as a result, and a plant almost guaranteed.
Well, they got to get the spike back, but it's not going to be easy. Already having to destroy some of the deadlock utility that was slowing them down, but that's all it's done, slow them down.
Double sensors.
And already, well, Bianche is looking for a little bit more. You can see Comms dissipated to the other side of the map, but he might meet Kai. Waiting there on that lurk, a late lurk, but Com expects it. That might just allow him to hold on to the rifle. The thing is, though, we already mentioned it, the last couple of rounds were squeaky clean for the side of LEV, so I really wouldn't mind if he goes hunting. Tries to drop some weaponry. He is going to have max cash anyway.
Really enjoyed Heibei's little sonic sensors, doubled up on that B choke point. You take a fight against the player, well, even if you go down, your teammates got the trade with the stun, and if they break the first sensor, the second one hits them while they shoot at it. So absolutely gorgeous, tough to deal with, and Com, just like you said, went out to try to punish, but it's him that ends up in the dirt. 3-3, and a well-used timeout by Trace to get them back on the board, but a lot of that goes to Bianche. What a phenomenal opening, great flash to start. Fantastic correction in the Seekers, forcing Tex out into the open. And he quickly punishes them, and that's the round done before it even gets started.
Yeah, no, he is someone that we already know as like the nightmare of a very specific Americas team, but someone that I guess was there to put some of the other Chinese teams on the map. Because I think we've always looked at the likes of EDG as a threat. I think they proved themselves very early on. FPX had that sort of quirkiness that I still think underrated as a squad. But I think Billy was a shock. And I think Trace are looking to be that here in this tournament. Already equalizing. But as said, when they played versus the likes of Vitality, their attack was clean. The only round they lost was a pistol. Everything else went their way. So definitely facing a lot more resistance and an early Viper's Pit and some aggression on the other side of the map from Aspas, who now has himself an operator. As said, they had so much cash. So him spending to basically lock down an awful lot of control. The question is, how far does he go? And does he catch the spike?
This would be terrible. And it is the spike on the floor. He's not sticking around to defend it. The right call. But early on, Trace losing that, hesitating to pick it back up, and they'll go running right to the other side of the map, right towards that Viper's Pit. The orb already up. They will have a timing to get out here in just a moment. They'll still have to deal with Mazzino on the back side, and he's looking for a fight.
And nade's going to be put in. Mazzino is going to deny 2 before the showstopper connects onto him. And that Viper's Pit now has extra support. King has joined the B site. Tex is there watching behind. They don't have time to go back either. They have to just run into this site or just hold on to the weaponry that they've got. And I'm assuming at this stage they are going for that second option. The question is, again, with credit still available, do the remaining players of LEV just opt to fight this and try and remove those guns?
All the final seconds are ticking down. It looks like a more passive face from this squad. Content to have their credits running very high in the early half, and a 4-3 lead now locked in. This is starting to look a little scary because there's a theme to the rounds that Trace are losing, and it's just stalled out by the clock. They're denied space everywhere they look. They try to force rotations by showing presence on one side of the map, but the picks aren't coming in.
Well, I think as well they've got to start denying some of that early map control. Like, either we've been seeing LEV be able to battle for B-Long, which they did fantastically, a lot of utility use, or this round they just walked up in towards the showers, and Aspas having that much command of the map just can't happen. By the looks of it, though, they might be opting to pick up the pace, and oh, it's a missed shot that will give them the site.
It will. Ultimate used by Heibei. It's not caught anyone, clearing out the back corner at least, but 4 players inside of Bat. That's a hard one to calculate this early on. Spike tap. to try to draw out the spams or any extra utility comm. A little bit of a tough spot. He's in jail. Might not have been annihilated, but he's put behind bars. Breaks himself out. He's free to rotate back around to the spawn just in case the TP is taken and the B side is the ultimate target. For now, might not be a bad idea for Trace, but they have no idea how many players are waiting on the opposite side of those smokes.
The danger as well is they don't have any more smokes of their own. A cage or two might be able to go up, but I think this has to be a brawl rather than an attempt to plant. Maybe waiting to see if a mistake is going to be made on the other side. But again, planting here is definitely not going to be easy, as there will be spams, there will be attempted denial. I don't mind the idea from Bianche to just throw out a flash, but now they are going to make that switch. Kai has been lurking. He's been taking space, and he's going to get the kill. That's a huge kill. That allows them to plant. That denies all the space that was there for the side of Leviathan. It's going to have to be a full retake.
This is what we've been missing. They've tried to push and pull the map, but they've never found the kills on the lurk in these rounds. It was only Bianche opening up a site, leveraging it out of their hands, but now they've actually got some space. They've got the plant, they've got the advantage to work with as well. Some players tagged up. And Leviathan definitely gearing up for this retake. The operator on Aspas, waiting for an opportunity for someone to show their face, but it's not happening. A very patient display by Trace as the timer runs down. Feng able to take the double on the back, and now it's just the op. Turning tail to the A site and being chased down. Eventually, they'll just decide to let him be and be content with the round conversion. The lead not extended by Leviathan. We're tied up 4-4.
Yeah, and high impact from Kai. Like, the thing I've always been impressed with from just these recent matches I've seen from Trace is, again, we talk about a lot of the teams that we've seen come in from China, or even initially from the likes of Pacific, and the way that they would play would be, okay, let's use our individual skill, let's be overly aggressive. But that hasn't really been the case for Trace. They are willing to walk into that A site initially and then wait for almost a full minute. Like, they'll just sit there and see if anybody on Leviathan is going to make a mistake. And then the reliance was on Kai. He goes down there, that's going to be such a difficult take. There was already a snake bite put into Hookah to delay by Leviathan, but it's that one kill, it gives them the plant, and then the post plants from them have been fantastic.
Well, much more global control by Trace. I like this look. You're expecting the adaptation from Leviathan, the aggressive pushes. The camera actually didn't spot it, but this will be checked periodically by Kai. He's not going to let them slip by undetected. Two players tucked in the corner for Leviathan. They've been good at taking that space and farming the orbs. Again, Texas got the ultimate online. Thrash was a big problem for Trace last time they tried to hit a site. B was defended by it. Both pulses of the Thrash completely halted the play and left the attackers with next to no time to get that plant in. Now, though, the space taken for free. There's the spot from Kai. Cage to protect him as well. A little bit of cushion, but Tex comes around the side, opens up the back control, and the big swing again. Bianche, they're rushing to try to defend this man, but he can't get away. Luckily, the trade is in. 3 kills from Tex. Keeps it doable for Leviathan, though.
Yeah, the sensor to the backside. The wall also holding them back at least a little longer. It's going to take time to break it. I think Aspas not even going to shoot. He just wants to make sure that the game isn't given away, but the nade will do just that. Hebe, that's landed perfectly on him. It will force him out, but he's still standing. Hasn't been spotted. They don't know where he is right now. The sensor will get one. And in the meantime, Aspas, he's actually popped the showstopper, but instead, it's going to try tapping it. Knows he needs to get this one to half. Rocket back out, but he's not quite quick enough. Hebe with the Red Bull clutch will put Trace on the board once again.
And now the lead swaps hands. It's the attackers spearheading the way. That round 5 pause, they come right out of it with 3 out of 4 rounds. Momentum in the sails and starting to fall apart, considering how dominant the early round control was for Leviathan, winning it off time in 3 of those rounds. And Hebe, he tanked the nade to start with, showing no fear. And it's Aspas that he ends up dropping.
Well,
a beautiful start for him. He mentioned how Aspas was his idol for so long.
Well, that's the thing as well. Just the way this round kicked off, it almost looked like it was over. Like, it was Tex finding the high impact. Look at the stats and how things have played out in China, and it doesn't really mean a lot.
Again, complementing those sonic sensors. 1 on the spike, 1 for the control around the back of the tall box. That's why Hebe's so comfortable sitting in that angle they thought was cleared. Now the early push up from Aspas. Thought he was going to commit fully. It certainly looked like it, perhaps with a Dizzy over top. But they've sensed that there's presence here. Now refocusing towards the bathroom. King and Aspis on their way. Tiger goes through. It's seen them. And they've got their sights set on it. They're going to fight for the control. It's Aspis to find it. And in goes the Stim Beacon for the swing. Aspis with another. And they're shutting them down. Lighting up the kill feed. The Leviathan side now with a 2-man advantage. That spike has no chance to be planted. And a flank underway. Traps covering it, but a lot of control given to the side of Leviathan.
It's such a deep trip as well. By the looks of it, it's been bypassed. But there is a second one. So it's not going to get any easier for Mazzino to lock them in, but he can make sure they're not coming back. And understandably, again, Trace are looking to try and take their time. Patience is key. There's a possibility that Bianca can find a timing here, but I think that timing is well gone. And with Aspas holding and watching, it will be the scoreline equalized once again. A much more aggressive stance this side for Leviathan, and one that works out for them.
And even in the late round, Aspis wasn't covering Bath. I started to sweat a little bit, but the man's got a clock in his head. He knew exactly when that player could have shift walked all the way around. The early aggression, like you said, Stim Beacon used after the first kill. Tex holding down the site. He's been consistent so far. There's a reason you've heard that thrash online a number of times. Early on, it was about farming orbs and a couple of kills. Now he's 13-5. Gecko having a worldie of a performance, but still, the scoreline's equalized.
I'm excited if we get to Ascent, because he was unbelievable when playing on the Sentinel. Immediately, though,
it's dangerous.
Annihilation has been popped. I think it's going to catch King. I don't know if there's going to be any savior. They are going to try and spam this one, but they've got to be careful that they're not the ones running out of bullets. Aspas, an immediate response to the IGL going down. But even still, the rest of the players somewhat locked out of the site. A flank coming in. Aspas has to fight versus 2, and he gets nothing. The jump across baits the fight, the stun as well to catch Tex. They know exactly where he is. And Mazzino's only just getting into play.
And they know he's coming. He had to break the trap to get through here. I think the hope was that Kai would be one of those players to fall, but nobody's falling on their side, and it's Kai's triple already. Mazzino out to put him to bed finally, but there's plenty players to trade that out. 6 rounds now for Trace. If you came in today thinking that they weren't a competitor, I think they're proving you wrong here and now, and a chance to confirm the lead for a 7-5 half. Phenomenal display already.
But yeah, I think the fact that I think their game versus Vitality woke a lot of people up, that this team can do some damage. Of course, there was talk of a lot of new players for Vitality coming to the stage, but I think it was Gorilla in his interview afterwards was saying, no, this is a legit team. You got to watch out for them. I think Kai definitely proving himself on the Jet, but as well, his depth of agent pool with the Sentinel. That's looked pretty good. Again, we're going to see this aggression. Put Aspas into play, Tex alongside him. Kai is watching. The first goes his way, and the information will be there. He actually gets Aspas as well. Okay, that's a deadly duo to take. That Kick's had enough. Just running, spamming, knowing his opponent was low. But the rest of the team haven't just been sitting there. They're making their way towards the B side, but with 2 kills going down on A, I believe Viper being spotted and maybe even a flash being popped. Definitely a flash, in fact. Mazzino doesn't have any left. They know there's only 1 man on this A site.
They're looking for him. The Tigers got the scent. It's on the way, and King's being spotted. Molly down will delay them slightly, and the net is gorgeous. No escape for King. He's caught not just by the net, but by Fung Fung as well. Watch out for this swing, Com. Lawking's already swapped up his position deep to cover that walkthrough. And with the wall, the barrier blocking them out completely, Mazzino's going to have to give away his position. He knows there's a likely swing, but he can't do anything about it. Phenomenal half from Trace. And what a recovery after those first couple rounds.
Yeah, I think when we saw the 3-round streak in the middle, they're definitely getting a little bit worried that this could be another strong performance from Leviathan, and maybe they've learned from the mistakes of Vitality, but I'll be honest with you, Mitch, it seems like Trace is still a tough opponent.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, they have legitimized themselves, like you said, in that first game here on the international stage. And as we said, they're hungry for that feeling again, up against champions winners, but barely breaking a sweat. That timeout round 5 was beautiful. And a good, well-rounded showing as well. This isn't the Feng Feng show or anything like that. Bianchi had some phenomenal rounds towards the end. Kai really stepped it up. Now the challenge is on for the America's #1 seed.
Listening.
And indeed, I'm excited to see what else Hebei has up his sleeve now that they're on the defensive side. It can be harder.
Yeah. He has some really cool ideas. One of them is throwing the barrier through the TP to block off Shower's control and try and trap people in when they go for the orb. We're not seeing that this round. In fact, it's going to be LEV walking towards the trip. Kai's been decent so far, under pressure, but you wouldn't think it. The way that he's playing! 3 in the pistol round.
Remaining.
As said, this guy at times can look like an insane jet, but put him on the center. He's still hitting the shots. Mazzino, though, returns in kind. This would have to be an absurd clutch, but I've seen this man do it throughout the years.
Little heal as well.
He knows where he is.
That spam would have taken him out otherwise. And the heal comes back through. Just below 70. Trace, 4 versus 1. Nobody looking to peek. Playing this one down to the last on the timer. Letting Mazzino be the one that has to step forward. He sees an opportunity. And the shot connects through the wall. So much damage done already. If he had some teammates by his side, we might start to believe. But as he walks through, it's Feng Feng to find him. 8 rounds on the board. Another pistol in the hands of Trace. And an early lead in this half pushes them ever closer to that map victory.
I have to say, I'm starting to become more and more of a huge fan of this Trace side. Again, like, this is somebody getting pushed by 2 players exactly the same time, getting both kills with a classic, not reloading, and then getting a 3rd kill. Like, I have to say, mine does not work like that. Like, I probably would have maybe hit the first guy, and then the other bullets would have gone into the abyss. And well, that map's not even in the series. 8-5, a huge pistol round to convert and increase that lead. And obviously for the other side, there can't be a lot here. Tex and Aspas, 2 players who've been performing so far in this map, will have Sheriffs a chance to do some damage, reduce the purchase, and what is a fairly safe one. In fact, I don't think you'd normally see this many SMGs, but on a map like Bayern, there's a lot of tight angles, a lot of ideas that you can throw in, so I don't really mind it.
I think it was Con who said that at this event, the Chinese teams are going to surprise. They're going to give their all, and, well, so far they most certainly have.
When do we stop being surprised?
Exactly.
That's the real question.
Yeah, I think it was a few days ago. This performance, already phenomenal. And now, 8 rounds on the board, looking to convert another. Plenty of weapons in play for the defenders. The side has been overrun. A deep flash, Aspas already passed it, close and looking for the fight. Down goes King and Mazzino, and Aspas gets nothing done either. It's again Tex that has to do the heavy lifting, and, well, he's certainly been spotted. Deleted moments later. 9 rounds now, locked in for Trace, and a wonderful conversion for them with 4 rifles carried forward. The only player that died, well, they had a rifle, but it's recovered by the one with the pistol.
Yeah, it was just the SMGs and then obviously that 1 pistol, so it really isn't that much of a problem. They're going to lose that 1 player and everything brought through. Again, though, a lot of teams nowadays, you'll even see some going for like 4 rifles. Well, we saw that quite a bit yesterday, so I'm intrigued to see what the plan is in this round. Is it to try and trap players? Is it to give Kai a little bit more of an aggressive stance and try and use that Guardian? More importantly, though, I'm looking at King, because King's someone, again, you're going to see those assists, you're still going to see him putting in a performance, but last time out versus Vitality, I think he ended on like 25 kills. He was one of the main reasons they were able to win, and it was the post-plants of his Molotovs that did so much for them. I think he still had impact with the Molotov in the last half, but you expect a bit more from someone of his caliber on an individual level. Although the Des put him at number 5 in their blind ranking, so maybe not, maybe not, maybe not.
And we don't expect anything. Close to double digits. This could be the round to do it, but like you said, it's common now to see 4 rifles bought up for Trace. They go for a lot of SMGs. They're left with a Guardian on Kai. Good man to have it. And he's right up in A heaven with an opportunity as they look to come through. 2 big traps set up to try to catch them. For Leviathan, they have to be cautious. That angle is being watched. Cam further back. And the ability for Feng Feng to swing straight through after contact.
Yeah, they were waiting for contact to the cam. They've also got Aspas still holding on to control in case they want to go back through the TP. The worry I have, though, is that he's alone with the rifle. So if he goes down, there is potential. The rest of the team are going to go pushing, and they've walked straight into the trap. The sensor catches one now. Aspas trying to take space. He loses the fight as well. This bonus round is about as good as it could get. The nade going to do an extra little bit of chip damage. And my main worry now is that time is ticking. Com, though, has brought this back. He's made it competitive.
They don't want to get too far ahead of themselves. 20 seconds on the clock as the spike was starting to be planted, and sometimes you'll just go swinging in madly, but now these players are boxed in. The rotate's not quite here in time. Tex holding from further back. He has the back, and in fact, he has the front too. Feng down, but the battle for Lamps is a little labored. They get there in the end, a 2 versus 2. Big swing in from Bianchi, but he gets nothing done. The tap from Hebe, and that was terribly close, but it's calm to bring it across the line. A narrow margin in this round, but Leviathan win an essential round victory in number 3.
That's such a huge bonus, though. Like, you're looking at like multiple SMGs,
3
a single
SMGs.
Guardian. So they're like, really, they've done an insane amount of damage. The setup as well was just utterly gorgeous. Like the way they're combining the sensor alongside those trips, because you kind of have to either just slow walk into those trips through a smoke, where you will die. Like that'd be an insane risk. And then the
damage they did last round means every credit has to be invested. So many players down to their last couple. Couldn't even man the arcade machines. And the beautiful thing as well is the trap set up by Kai, he leaves one out for free. Yeah, if they go blast packing through, they're gonna get caught, but most of the time they'll destroy the first trap. And then they think they can walk right in. Little do they know.
He's stuck.
Beautiful net. Tex, though, holding his ground. He doesn't want to take the pin out just yet, and we'll use Mosh to do it. I like that. A little bit of utility just to make sure he stays alive. Now this time, they're going to go forward. They've already broken the traps. There's a sonic sensor covering it, and then Feng ready to swing.
Oh, he took it back.
Blocking.
He took it back. They didn't break it. He took it back, and he has the second one down. It's actually just, the guy is reading them like a book at the moment. Expected it to come in. Maneuvered it. I think he's put it over the TP, so if they try and rotate, they're going to get stuck. Yeah, it's like right on the edge.
Past it. And this one not as easy to break. Oh, never mind. You have to swing out wide. I thought it was on the other side of the box.
Well, they've also broken the one over towards Showers, so information is there. Feng's still in position. It's expected, and he's going to be removed. An important opener, in fact, 2 coming up from Aspas. We know what this man can do when he's in form. Well, he's cleared the whole site on his own. 3 kills for Aspas. The other 2 players from Trace are out of there.
A much better round from Leviathan, dealing with those trap setups, ready for the player to be tucked in the corner. It's a gamble that Trace took that evidently did not pay off, and it's just due to the pacing. The fact that I assume Locking was going back to put down another smoke. He wasn't able to swing on time to trade it out, to take Aspas down, and as a result, even the 3rd kill goes his way. Leviathan locking in the 7th round with the save from Hebe and Bianchi. And the credits for that defensive side, well, they require these weapons to be carried forward if they have any chance of the next.
Yeah, I still feel like they might just opt to save in this next one just to make sure that they'll have a better buy going forward. But those are the sort of rounds you expect to see from someone of the caliber of Aspas. I think widely regarded as the best of the best. I think him and Texture are the one put into that bracket right now. But well, this is the exact reason why. Just finding opener after opener. Stun not quite catching this time, and well, even the nade to close out Kai at the back of the site. Trace are going to take the pause of their own. And again, I like how proactive they're being with it. I think both teams, the coaching staff, are willing to get involved, not going to wait until it's too late to try and slow down SMGs. Even though they didn't win round number 15, they managed to do a lot of damage. So I always like watching what ideas teams have with the deadlock, because I think a lot of teams, the way they played the deadlock was just put it underneath Hookah, like one of the sensors, and that was about it. That was about all the ideas they had to just try and throw the wall over. But he's using all his utility on that side of the map and then just running back in the other direction to set up on B, which is currently where the remainder is going. Zeno's trying to sell the idea that there's a lot of presence, and Bianchi, he believed him. He believed there was someone there and decided to swing and take the fight.
Right here.
Successful fight. A good scrap. And the rotates on the back of it. No information on the A site. Nobody else seen. They suspect that the B site is where the fight's coming through. That's when Feng steps up. The lighter investment. He couldn't even get full shields. trying to save their money for the next round, but now, like I said, a kill or two, this becomes doable. That orbital strike, you start to think about possibly using it. If you get the information, and that they most certainly have. All three players spotted towards long. They're not going to have a way out of here. It's being watched, and they've been spotted coming back 35 seconds, even dealing with that man. If they don't kill him, you're not going to want to rotate to the A site. So much utility waiting there. And yeah, he's on his way to the other side. They still have to break through. Feng, who's got another, the nade and the net, stopping them in their tracks. 20 seconds now, and Leviathan, they have nowhere to go. No space taken, and the spike on its way to spawn. That's a double-digit round for Trace. And it looks like
right here.
They might want to go hunting when this timer ticks down. Yeah, Feng stepping through.
It's more so if there's guns. I think that's what it is. He's only got himself a Guardian. There's also a Stinger. They are somewhat being watched for, but I think King couldn't really risk an overextension and giving that away. A big round for Trace and a big round for Feng as well. Just being able to find some ridiculous shots with the Guardian, and that was a lot of what this round was. Sure, I think after the fights there were quite a lot of really good pieces of utility, but the actual kills that came in were raw firepower. Like then, you know, look, then we've got a nade, and oh, once you got the kill, I put a wall down. That was just firefights, and I think if there was any aspect of this game where we went, yeah, LEV probably had them beat, it was raw aim.
Again, you know, you look at Trace, it's not an issue of what if one player cools down. Everyone is putting up the performance. It's a team effort that's gotten them to double digits and pushed Leviathan into another bye. Credit's still decently healthy. They need to figure out this defensive side. No one there to capitalize on the traps this time. Much more passive on the A site. We saw this from Leviathan when they had 4 players in Bath. I don't think there's going to be too much of a fight on the site itself. Instead, those players will focus on just keeping the control.
With this, it's a delay strategy. Like, you've got the orbital strike, you've got the Molotov as well, the nade from Feng on that side of the map as well, so that they're literally trying to play the exact same game we saw moments ago. Already, pressure being put on. Aspas is just running out. He takes down Kai. That's a great start. The spike attempted to be planted. Orbital strike going to be used, forces him out of position, but there's not really anyone to capitalize just yet. Feng trying his best, and actually, he comes out with 2. Now has a showstopper his own. I think Aspas may have actually just jumped over that, but now he's surrounded. He's got players coming in from behind. They still don't have Showers control, and I feel like they need to get out. They need to get out as quick as possible. They may get stunned on the B site, though.
And Heibei will be there to capitalize if they do. In fact, Annihilation is used, and it's caught one. That's the spike. They have to break Tex out, and he's gone when he comes out the other side. Calm left with it all to do, and he's shut down. What a round from Heibei. That utility, the rotation, the reads, absolutely perfect. 11-7 for Trace. They are steaming ahead.
That was just unbelievable. Like, you look at this round, and you kind of sit there and go, okay, they lost an opener. A showstopper's been used by Aspas. You go, that's probably a done deal, right? He ends up in no man's land because of what Feng was able to do. Like, he gets 2 from Showers and holds that control. Like, that was pressure being put in by Leviathan to try and clear that angle. And then you just had superb utility uses. That was the exact sensor I was talking about. I was like, that's what a lot of Deadlock players do. You put that sensor down and you leave it for the whole round. He combined it with his ult.
Spectacular. Trace 11-7, putting Leviathan in jail, and it looks like Heibei's the warden. Lights out though for Kai. Aspas the one to find it.
Back to back.
He's been opening up well on this site, but there's always a response. Only the one to start, and the trades come in favor of the attack. Now the plant can come through. There's not much to deny it.
No surprises.
Maybe an attempt from Heibei. Oh, it's definitely not pretty.
I got the spot.
Eventually, Mazina will get the job done. And the only reason I'd say about Bianche going for this, credits are not bad. 2 players are incredibly low. Now, one of them is going to get healed. So that's something at least. Aspas is not going to be on his last legs, but we've already seen what Bianche can do. That information's crucial. Mazino willing to give up his life, potentially, just to try and find that. And why I think there's going to be the swing eventually from Aspas, but he's playing it slow. He's playing it patient. Bianche just trying to isolate one of these fights, but the crossfire should be enough to take him down, and it will be. Tex ready and waiting. Left break back immediately, a continuous back and forth between these two sides.
3 rounds between them. This one's going down to the wire. And we've seen some spectacular uses of those timeouts. Every time one has come in, the team calling it's finding a new groove, but there's no more left to use. They're on their own down on that stage. And it's Leviathan. Big ultimates coming online. Viper's Pit. Seekers as well for the late round information. And a spread net from this attacking side, just looking to find any spots where Trace are getting aggressive and feeling confident in their individual duels. And if worse comes to worse, just send Aspas in to kill them all.
Spike dropped.
Well, this could be a way back in with credits on the edge for either side. Wong Fong waiting patiently, but after the shot's not connected, he's not going to overextend. That is something else I've enjoyed with these players on either side is feel like there's a respect for each other. Again, those sensors are going to be frustrating. I think they did throw a blast back to destroy them, but just wasn't quite there in time. Spam, it is going to deny the plant. That will at least buy a little bit of extra time, and this fight for Showers could be crucial. We've already seen what they could do with that control, but clearly unaware of how far Com had got.
Great lurk by Com. Yeah, he's just been shift walking up the whole round. Kill comes back in the other direction, and Aspas isn't happy about that, but he goes a little too far. Yankee waiting for him. Com walled off and dropped, and a stun in.
Uh-oh.
Retaking the control at the very least. King down to 58, and the double TP used. This time, the B site not so well defended. No traps waiting for them.
He's jumping
no
to the
annihilation. It's going to be the plant in the 2 versus 3.
There needs to be an immediate shot connected, which there is. One goes their way. It's all up to King, and he gets all 3. It's been a quiet game for him so far. But the crown back on his head.
You see Tex hyping him up afterwards as well. Leviathan starting to hit their stride. That's 2 in a row, and just 2 between them. Trace will feel that pressure, and they'll see it manifested in their economy. This was a round that put them down to their last. What a way for King to close this. He had one opportunity, and he seized it.
Hey, my hand's sweaty, my bad. I saw you wipe it.
Coming into the next, there's a Viper's Pit and an orbital strike still.
I love the honesty.
For Leviathan. Attack side, a couple of safety nets to fall back on. If they get site control, post plan's going to be strong with either one of those ults, let alone both.
Kai has had a bit of a tougher time. I feel like he's always been in a 1v1 with Aspas anytime he's in a fight, and he has not been winning that 1v1. I'm going to try and play a bit more aggressively. Bear in mind, a couple of stingers in play, but we've already seen that Trace are competent when it comes to their lower buys. Kai already going to fall out of there, not look to overextend and make sure that there's delay. The Seekers have gone out on the other side of the map as well, which means that we're going to see Lord King already push all the way up. They have so much information. They can stack this side of the map.
Com's repositioned though. Now he's up close, ready for this fight!
Already
but he loses
enough.
it. And now the back is open. Leviathan have to worry about that. The rotation through the TP won't be as easy this time. And lots of utility. It wasn't placed in the early round by Kai. Oh, he has to get out of there. Giving up the control, and Leviathan quick to seize it. Trap goes off, but no one there to capitalize on it. Broken the trap to take Lamb's control. And a lot of space now given to that side with Kai down. It's on Fong Fong. Able to at least take King. Keep the favor in the hands of the defenders, but it doesn't last long. The weaker weapons starting to show. The cracks in this late round defense. The play up by Locking, going all the way around. You can see Bianche's trying his best to draw their eye, and he's done exactly that. A free kill, and now these players surrounded, pressured on both sides. Locking down to 11, and he gets one. One more needed, but he stops at the last second. Tex delivers the fatal blow, and double digits for Leviathan.
I don't know if he thought he was dead or if his mouse went off his mouse pad, but he just froze in place. Well, I don't know what's just happened, because that looked like it could have been a ridiculous clutch. Instead, though, it's the same again. I mentioned this last time out when they played Talon. It looked like Talon had the game done, and then Leviathan dig deep. Then they start grinding out these rounds in clutch scenarios with big individual players who had been missing. Well, King literally doubled his kills a round ago. Even still, though, it was a low buy. Trace now have weaponry back in hand, but for the series' sake, if they've learned anything from Talon, you just can't let this map slip away.
They're going to have to fight tooth and nail for this one. Orbital strike primed and ready by Trace. King wants to have that. As a response, if they step up into those traps, if they get stunned on their way into lamps. But you can see Leviathan were just wrestling for this control, grabbing an orb, forcing the rotations, and they've done just that. Heibei's on his way to A, 4-man stack up on that side of the map.
Well, Bianche just used a lot of his utility. He used the Sky Flash down long, then used the Tiger to clear out Hookah. So that's why they've gone for this massive rotation, because he cleared all other information. Now they have to try and sprint their way back to get into position. There is an orbital strike available. Maybe they could try and use that to deny the plant.
I think that's the idea behind the gamble. They'll allow this team to take side control knowing they can pop down the orbital strike. It's primed and ready, but a little late. Perhaps the plan is to use it in the post plant, in the retake for the defensive side to open up some space for them to fight with Aspas up close. That could be the disruption that they need. In goes Thrash, causing problems. In fact, detaining a teammate as well, but it's good enough. Aspas is caught, but they still have to get through that Viper's Pit, and plenty of players are standing in their way. The spike right inside of it, but the sprays going Trace's way. Blind fire, and every shot landing. King and Calm with the smoke now falling. Heibei dying because of the decay, and quite a lot of these players are decayed, but the health goes back to full. They start to tap that spike, cause the spams to go back in the other direction. Kai loses a lot of his life, but the spams aren't landing. They're not even close! Right under their nose! Trace of defuse behind the smoke! And now, on the cusp of victory in map 1, who could have seen this coming?
Well, I'm sure there's a few analysts after that first match that were saying that they could have seen it, but versus Leviathan, as that comeback looked to really gain some legs, just that retake into a Viper's Pit, the orbital strike didn't even really catch that much, and it came so close towards the end. Those spams, not far away, but just not on. And even though there was some body blocking, I think if they had got that correct, it would have easily cleared the players. Just unable to get it. Look at the weaponry as well. Now Leviathan need to make it work with a couple of stingers, or 3 in fact. At least they've got the showstopper.
Well, that's exactly what's going to open up this round for the side of Leviathan, dodging the annihilation, but the rocket doesn't land, and Mazzino already out of the round. He's caught by a big play through the TP. Feng keeping the control up there. Aspas desperately trying to hold on to life on the site, but this attack side's being split, diverted, and now they've got nowhere to go. Sending it back in the other direction, utility awaits them, but more importantly, there's an aggressive stance from the Brimstone. Now falling back, conceding the space somewhat in the molly to slow them down. King's isolated by it. Beautiful utility. And although he's down to 5, please don't step into that Molotov. We've seen that one before. It's only Calm. 1v3, the first kill easy, the other 2. Should be impossible, he's just stolen it. he's walked right in and walked away.
Wait a minute. He must have been in that smoke, but he's a little bit late. The thing is, the trip's still online. And in fact, Loki, he's going to die here. Surely he's going to die! The man was on 5 HP, but he still manages to land the headshot! Like the end of the world there. I think the other thing as well is, like it was spoken about in the interview, that they weren't surprised on the last map. Well, if they're surprised on this one, I'll be gobsmacked, because I believe that Tracer played this comp 15 times in a row. So even though it hasn't been the biggest success for them this year, they have stuck to their guns. They're comfortable with what they're playing, but it hasn't been massively successful.
Well, this dart's going around the world to try to break some setup on B, but there's nothing there. They know that from the double bounce. Leviathan sat in position on B, but the A site push has come through. Trap broken. Trace now know that there's some pressure behind them, and again, the clock is ticking to get into the site. And they've done just that. The plant secured, 1 man left behind with a camera. It's King that has it all to do, and King about to walk straight into his angle, but hold on, 1 shot connected, still drawing breath. It buys enough time for the trade from Mazzino.
Yeah, they're looking for Aspas as well. They want to try and close out some of these flanks, but they're slowly starting to be picked apart. Aspas just almost acting as distraction now as the rest of the team look to fight back in. Even still, they managed to hold on for a moment, but Mazzino putting another in the death toll. He's traded out as well. some utility being expended and that time ticking, and Com so desperately low. Hebe with a triple, and it's a pistol under the belts of Trace.
Another. I think that's 3 for 3 so far for Trace. Early injection of rounds. And that's going to go a long way on a map like this, one that they struggled against Vitality. And as we said, Leviathan, they may not be so good in a rematch, but this is first time around. And Edopata said they weren't surprised. You said 15th time playing this composition. Won't be surprised here either, but that wasn't what he put the loss down to. Edopata said that they weren't playing as a team. That's a tough thing to correct. See if they've got the stones for it, but it won't be in this round. Just pistols in play for the defensive side. B aggression. The hit is coming in on A.
Well, I think they come in as well on a much more comfortable note on this map in general. Like, okay, sure, they beat Talon, but on the last couple of times they'd played G2 regionally on Bind, it hadn't gone well. So I think that this is one where, excluding that crew defeat, they have proven that this is a solid map for them and a comfortable map as well. So I'm hoping that the issues he mentioned will be fixed in this round again. Like, you're playing into the post plant of Trace. They've got these SMGs up close, not needing to play at the same level of distance still. A little bit of damage being done, but expectations are that there won't be too much more.
Still one pistol to be upgraded. Any damage from here will actually be felt, will be shown in the economy. Aspis, well, he's on the slide to catch one. Style points, and now looking for a bit more. How many weapons can he drop? The round's already lost. The answer is just the one. The big guns saved through to the next. A 2-0 start for Trace Esports.
I'll be curious to see what's there to invest. Like, do they bring in another rifle? Do they maybe put an extra stinger or pistol in? Or are they just going to keep it relatively low? It doesn't seem like there's going to be a mass amount. There you go, just a stinger added in. Now, last time out, previous map, they were able to make these rounds very costly for LEV. I think that was one of the other issues that they had is, although they had a couple of flawless rounds at the very beginning of the game, other than that, every round seemed costly. And it meant that their economy quite regularly ended up on a lower note. For now, though, immediate pressure. A much faster paced look from the side of Trace.
Putting all their eggs in one basket on a straight push towards the A site. It's not too pacey for now, but there goes the utility that signals the start. The blast packs in, and around elbow we go. It's not started out too well, though. Leviathan taking all the picks. Good flash, but it's dodged, and King's there to support. Mazzino steps up to the plate and leaves it into Kai, just with a pistol in hand. And only the one kill to be found. A much better response from Leviathan than what we saw on map 1.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea from Trace that you're going to try and test your opponent early when you have those weaker weapons, see how far you can get, but it looked comfortable. Like, the shots connected, counter utility, able to move out of positions and not get caught by an off angle, and also just having a solid read. The 3 players were ready for the pacing of that take. For Trace, now they buy back in with the rifles. But as said, early in the last map, LEV were able to get their first few rounds very clean, at least build up a bit of economy. We'll see if they can do that again here.
Oh, an early bit of aggression as well, but Aspa still caught by the stun. It was sent from further back, so there was no safe haven. And now the nade puts pressure on Tex to try to push out of this angle. And the drone was watching him as he attempted the escape. Looks like a late lurk on mid might catch some value, and a very early peek in from Market gets next to nothing. The one-to-one trade's not really worthwhile. Great response by Trace already, and it's not going anywhere.
Com was... He's even going to get spotted, yeah. There's not even any way out. Is he going to run into the trip assault? Yeah, why not? Let's just reveal him on the other side of the map. I think perfect denial. And it does seem like in a lot of positions on this map, Trace just have a very good read. Like, they're willing to commit early utility if they believe there's going to be a push. And I actually think the counter stun that came out from Leviathan was pretty good as well. I think the Fong Fong on the other side was stunned. He just hit the shot while stunned. So again, the cosmetic didn't play out for him. But a really clean response. As said, having 4 players left alive and saving a weapon in the last round will mean that Leviathan will be able to get back in, at least maybe with a few light shields here and there. But for Trace, I've already said, like, this map, regionally and versus Vitality, has been a little rough for them. Getting off to a strong start here, using the momentum that they found from the last map, capitalizing on it, is going to be a big part for them.
most definitely is. The question is, how far can they push this early lead? Leviathan, no slouches. They'll be buying right back up. Rifles in hand, light shields for the most part, Rolling Thunder online for both sides. But a couple more ultimates very close to being online for Trace. They could find themselves an early safety net, and that was almost the showstopper. The wall got in the way, and the spray slightly off. And if one kill goes his way, well then that's a completely different round we're looking at. Still fighting for the orb, a possibility. Leviathan won't be able to defend. Instead, they look for some mid-control. I think they wanted to pincer two players out of the market. A flash or stun, perhaps, on mid if there were players there. Tracer taking that control much later in the round than expected. They're rotating to A as well. You know, they stopped the B push. They saw nobody mid. They think it's A. There's 3 players from Leviathan stacked up there. Rolling Thunder for retake, of course, but that can be countered right back.
Oh, well, they know where Tex is, that's for sure. Stuck at the back of the site.
Spike planted.
Post plant will be in, and it's almost like a double lurk. You've got Kai. They're going to try and isolate Kai, but they don't know that there's actually a second player. In fact, they may not even know that the first player is here. This late push could be everything. The whole goal, look, they've got a Rolling Thunder and a Hunter's Fury. They can delay a ridiculous amount of time, but King is holding. I don't know if he spotted Low King, though. That second player, he's still watching in case somebody looks to wrap around from that corner. A good read from King, but he can't quite land the shot. Now they have to try and deal with it. Bianche's gone, and so is his ultimate, but that doesn't matter anymore. The time is ticking way too far. Trace have played this post plant fantastically well. And well, Aspas has no choice but to try and hold on.
Well, at least he will get that rifle through to the next, but this is a devastating start. A 4-1 lead. And the fact that they were so contained when you have Leviathan pushing in, just complete calm on the side of the attackers. Trace, keep the Rolling Thunder at first, use it.
That's what I like. Yep. I think they read into the fact that, okay, we have a Rolling Thunder, so chances are they're not going to play close because we have a Rolling Thunder. Yep. So let's just walk in a plant and hold it. It's a gamble, but it's a really smart gamble.
After Mazzino puts his through, you saw Heibei take out the ult and then realize, I don't need to. Let him have the space. Now, there was a read from Leviathan that there was a late lurk on mid, but that didn't really net them as much as you'd hope.
Okay.
The fadeaway King get killed, and well, the A site's going to be taken over by the drone. There is a response attempted by Mazzino, already tagged up heavy, and that's one of the 2 rifles that they have to work with. He goes out anyways, and he goes down right after.
It's definitely going to make things tougher, but with the kill onto Kai, the flank is no longer covered. This gives some space. Now, it is being watched by Bianche, but if the remaining players, Common Tex, can make a bit of a distraction, show a couple over on that short side, it might allow Aspas the space. I think that's the goal. Just try and give him a route into this one. The thing is, the post-plant setup, again, is strong, and Bianche is watching. He hasn't switched his position, but he still loses the fight. Second man switched his position, but he still loses the fight. Second man here, and with the bullet shot off, they now know it. Aspas no longer stunned, but Heibei catches the other 2. Puts it into the 1v1. Aspas on 5 HP. And that time is ticking. If anything, I think it's ticking too far gone again. Aspas, he's looking to try and find him. He's even going to land that last shot, but it's too little too late. Has to fall out of the round. Trace will convert. It's incredibly costly. And it does mean that there's still going to be a bit of damage done to their economy, but they'll comfortably buy.
A timeout called by Leviathan. They're feeling the pressure, and it's Heibei applying it. That could have been a very different round if he doesn't catch that double.
He's just sat on the spike as well. Like, it's not the most uncommon spot. Like, you can understand why, like, a lot of people would check that. 2-0 up in a best-of-5 versus FPX, which they then lost. So they've had those sort of tough defeats. And let's be real, it's definitely not over yet. But just the manner in which a lot of these rounds have been going, I think even if you're the biggest Leviathan fan right now, you're probably quite nervous. As said, though, I think both coaches, their tactical pauses haven't gone amiss. Like, they have been valuable, to say the least. We'll see if there's an immediate response from the side of Leviathan.
A lot of the time, it is going to make you change your setup and your plan. knowing they've just called that pause. Obviously, Leviathan are going to do something different. So Trace do much the same, focusing fully on the B site. They found space here for free before, and this time there's a showstopper to lead the way. Tex knew where he was, but couldn't quite get it done. They know Feng Feng's going to the back of the site, and the flash is good. Calm, trading it out, looking for more, finding it! 4 under his belt already. I don't know what Idapata said during that timeout, but it's got him fired up. Not much Hebei could do. In a 1 versus 4, and all the roses to come in this round.
I think we've costed a million 4Ks at this point after yesterday's match, but that one has to be up there with the best of them. And that's the perfect response. Do I think that was part of the coach's game plan? Absolutely not. Do I think it's more likely to bring them back from the brink? Absolutely. Those are the sort of rounds that get everybody pumped up. And after a quiet start for a fair few of the players that have been fantastic throughout the season and throughout the tournament so far, that's one hell of a way to do it. And just look, actually, even though there's some backup credits, there still seems to be enough to purchase. Trace are not going for a full buy here. They're going to go with Stingers instead. I'm not sure if this is just wanting to have everything online, maybe even wanting to get themselves the ult, but I feel like they could have put a bit more into this round.
I think Lev thought that too. Early commitment of the Hunter's Fury after catching the tag, but no conversion.
He was so close to everyone.
All 3 pulses.
Just didn't hit a single pulse.
Oh yeah. Gave some of those players a haircut, but not quite enough. Reveal, flash. Nobody there to execute on the back of it unless the reveals go through, but those players are safely behind the box. Very slow round from Trace. I think they're trying to find the gaps in this defensive side, and it looks like they're assuming it's towards A. Smoke on right side, drone going through. This is looking like a B split from the side of Leviathan, but now they're about to find out it isn't. That paranoia's bought just enough time to retreat.
We've seen this for a couple of rounds now. King getting aggressive on A, taking that space away. This battle could be everything. Bianca waiting. Door actually going to be closed by the attack. That's got to be a bit of a confusing way for the round to be played out. Instead, they're going to go back to top mid, looking to try and surround the players on that A site. A lot of space already taken, but a double up will be in from the defense. Com joins them.
It's King, able to find that one, dancing around the box.
15 seconds.
12 seconds, they have to hurry up, and Com's here to support as well, watching the back. No element of surprise, but still the fights go their way. The plant will come in just in time. Fast as he is, Aspis won't be there in time to stop it, but both players tagged terribly low. 50 HP between them. Weak weapons, it's tough to get done, and Tex swings and he doesn't miss. 5-3. Leviathan are on the way back.
It still comes incredibly close. Like, considering that they'd invested into Stingers, a pistol, and a couple of rifles, and the way that those early fights went, like, it seemed like all the information was there. They had 3 players within the site already. I don't think we needed a slow-mo replay of that last one, but...
Oh my God, I'm Shroud.
oh dear. 5-3. A couple of rounds back-to-back.
This goes here.
The players from Leviathan starting to wake up, but yeah, that was a reduced investment in the last round from Trace. Rolling Thunder will now be online once again. And early control, even with a boombot in hand.
They're pushing them right back, but Leviathan are all too happy for that to be the case. The Rolling Thunder expected and denied with players now far back. They'll concede site control, but look to take it back with numbers quickly here. Any aggression will be punished, and a shock dart through from Com, taking out Bianca. Another shock dart does big damage. Beautiful stuff from the side of Leviathan. They haven't had to face them, and already these players are nice and squishy.
And the post plants have been where Trace thrive. Overdrive utilized, information gone, a paranoia even sent through to try and leave them in awkward positions. Oh, in fact, almost a kill directly through the smoke. Re-aggression attempting to do something, but they are being torn apart. It's left all on Takai. He knows where they are. The spam isn't going to do anywhere near as much as he's hoped for, and even though he catches the kill, they're already defusing. Just not enough time for him to get that done. An incredibly nice attempt from the Sentinel. He's made things costly, but it wasn't a round. That's gone to Lev.
Yeah, he should have fallen flat there and been deleted instead. At least able to put up a fight, carry the weapon through. But like you said, the timeline's all that really matters. 3 times in a row, Trace have gotten themselves a sight, more or less for free, although this time the shock dart certainly added an extra flair to it. 3 times in a row, we've seen Leviathan fight back and grab those diffuses. Economy, though, for the defensive side, is in a shaky enough position. Trace could still capitalize, but they're not too healthy either. This is going to be a swing round for the lead. Trace have their sights set on B.
Yeah, they definitely know that Aspas is there. There's no doubt about it. Drone is available. It makes me a little bit nervous just because of who's on the other side. Available to get aggressive, and it's actually Tex to land the first. The guy defending, the paranoia, the stun, in fact, everything has caught on to Aspas. He's still going forward, though! And he's just taught them a new one. It leaves Hebe to try and fight alone, but this round is for Aspas.
He uses his own stun to keep them in position. And then another comes in from a teammate. Door closed behind them, and, well, that's the door closed on the round. A timeout called now by Trace. Not happy with how this has gone, and they just got decimated by Aspas, so I'm not surprised.
He starts his move while still stunned up because he knows it's going to fade while he's swinging.
And he knows they're going to be stunned. He had
a few extra credits here and there. They can afford to go in for what we currently see in this round. Ultimates, not particularly close, but a kill or 2 in this round could mean that they have a lot online for the next.
Scanning ahead.
like you said, limited on the attacking side, but they've done some serious damage with less than this. Same old story with that shock dart, but Tex has been very aware of that in the early round. Moving his traps around. This time one for mid, broken, and Fong Fong right into the fight. And it's Calm to actually take that kill, certainly softened up by Aspas. Two players you don't want to fight in current form, but Calm has been dropped. The rifle, the bulldog in play for Hebe. Aftershock on both sides, and it's Hebe forced to the open, taken down. Yankee's taking space in the meantime, but in goes Aspas, and he ain't taking any prisoners. 6-5. Leviathan from a 5-1 deficit have claimed back the lead.
It really feels like he's back. The last few rounds have just been Aspas styling, using those slides, using the fact that they're almost completely accurate, just to take fights that really should be impossible for the opponent to react. We're just looking at it for his POV. It don't even see a thing. Gone in a flash. Well, he could barely see anything from the fights he's taken, but there is no opportunity to respond. Lead taken by Leviathan. The pause that they called, clearly a turnaround point. I'm not sure what was said. Might just have been something as simple as remember who you are.
I mean, there really are. There's two kinds of Aspas. First time they played Crew, and second, and you rarely get the second performance. He had a tough time there, was shut down in every duel he went for, but now right back on form. Rolling Thunder used to deny the planned aggression from Fong Fong, caught immediately, and Aspas back to his old tricks, sliding around, looking for the fights and finding them. Calm, again, assisting on those kills, taking them down in the end, and Hunter's Fury used to try to keep them in the choke point. King is here, and he's defending his throne. 7-5 now. From a 5-1 lead, Trace have got nothing, but the foundations are still set for the second half.
Yeah, I think they're going to appreciate this, the halftime break, because in all honesty, those last 6 rounds, like, they started with some sort of competition. Maybe there was rounds that could have gone the other way, but that was a slaughter. We'll be back after that break to see if they can do it on the defense. Comes about supporting him. We saw it in the first half as well. I think Fong Fong as well had those sort of moments where there were like paranoias and stuff put into place to set him up with stuns. The same will be said for Aspas, leading the charge. Maybe see if they can get themselves their first pistol, but there's already a trap being set by the defensive side.
Oh! Well, that is quite the reaction.
Who was trapped?
Aspas doesn't seem to be slowing down, and right into the fight, but Hebe and Bianche, they've got the control. Trading it out, keeping the numbers now equal, and then That's when Law King steps it up. The paranoia doesn't land, but the shots do. The plant from Calm. All that remains of the hope of Leviathan taking a pistol here. You know, 1 versus 2, both players 70 HP, no shields to work with, but they're already on the spike.
They've already pinged exactly where he was going, or at least it seemed it. Now starting to realize that he could have gone back in the other direction. The spam just not on at this point. Already getting it to half. They're going to look to try and fight him together. And there was a world where he wins that. But his doppelganger, Bianca, is going to be the one to take that over the line. It is another pistol round for the side of Trace 1. But a plant and a lot of kills. There could even be a temptation to force.
I wouldn't be surprised with Aspas on this form. Half the time he dies, he's shot in the back. You get to see his eyes. You ain't going anywhere. A big round from Law King, holding down that control on mid, swinging out, giving his life for the trade. And that was all they needed. The pistol, another early injection of rounds, and as we saw in the first half, that was very essential. Them being able to keep this close. Aspas off rip, no force buy. Pistols, a couple invested into.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy round.
Yes, the few extra credits of the plant and kills just being expended into this one. A chance to do some extra damage. And you can see that Trace definitely had the same thought. They haven't gone for any pistols this time around. There was always seemingly one, but wanting to make sure that they can convert this round as cleanly as possible. So now any loss here will be costly. SMG or 2, it's not the end of the world. You lose any of those rifles, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I want to see limited losses, although off rip.
Well, that's a rifle.
It's Leviathan with the opening pick, with a rifle to be recovered. Luckily, Aspas is nowhere nearby. That won't be given to him just yet, but they're grouping up. I'm going to approach this one as a blob, go back to meet King, who's tucked in inside of B main. If they take site control, this is a different round altogether. Trace have to be very careful not to give away too much here.
Okay, already getting the information. Smoke for top mid. Almost trying to bait their opponents. It seems to have worked. They're re-aggressing into middle. In fact, it seems like they've got completely the wrong read. Going back towards the A site, I'm not sure what the point of call was, what gave the game away, but whatever it is, it was completely wrong. This is going to be a post plant over on that B site, and now having themselves potential to maybe play main or with those pistols play aggro.
That's a problem. Yeah, from this point, trades, all that Leviathan need, and they've been spectacular in early fights, even without that rifle that now sits on Calm. Trace having to use up the stun to clear the first angle. Law King hoping to catch them off guard, and he might just do that. He's being flanked on though, and does he suspect it? 2 quick kills, but shot in the back. I think he's got just enough done to give them a chance. 30 HP on Tex, trying to buy time, but the defuse is underway. Someone needs to go out and drop that diffuser, and there's no one to do it. The rifle still inside of main. It will not be carried forward. Mizzino looking to do as much damage as he can, and that is huge. At the start of this round, a couple of kills would have been a fantastic end. Instead, they've left it with 1 man alive coming into round 15.
Yeah, I almost wonder if Trace will even opt to play this one as a bonus anymore. Like, do you just fully invest and try and fight this as your buy round? The problem, though, is that economically, they're not going to be in a fantastic spot to even do that, even if they spent everything here. So huge round, and again, just a pretty big misread from them in terms of where Leviathan were going to be going. Now they come up with a fall buy. It's going to be SMGs, pistols. In fact, Heibei is only on a classic.
A lot of players pushed up. They're going to try to use the aggression to catch them off guard, make up for those weaker weapons, and it certainly worked to start with. Tex has been spotted. He is completely surrounded. Players absolutely everywhere. There's no way out. He tries to fight his way out, and he's doing it. 3 big kills. This could have been a nail in the coffin for the round. Instead, an uphill battle remains for Trace. Kai, well, now detected. They've got all the information. The cage might buy him a moment to breathe, but his teammate's been dropped down to the classic. Aspas is dropped, but 20 HP left and a flank under. Get your gun out, Zeno. Flank underway, now got him. Stuns got him. There's nowhere for Kai to go. It would have to be the headshots, and it's just not to be. 8 rounds for Leviathan.
Yeah, it almost feels like Tex was shooting off warning shots to begin with, because it went from not connecting a spray to hitting every single bullet in a second. again, with what was on offer, I don't mind the idea in the round. Get aggressive, put the pressure on, and if it wasn't for some incredible isolation of battles and more so just the headshots,
Let's go.
that easily could have slipped away. Leviathan are going to take the lead once again after their big streak in the previous half. But this is where the defensive side do come back in with a purchase. An immediate push, though. Aspas has almost caught Bianca, and in fact, with the stun, he gets both players!
Follow-up is there from King to a site completely overrun. Blink and you miss it. I see the credits are low, but that felt more like an eco.
Yeah.
He just dismantled that setup. And now, well, all that's left is to save. You can see Kai already repositioning his utility, be a little bit more defensive. But that's a big blow to the side of Trace. This was their round, and like you said, almost getting caught. Even as the barriers went up, Bianca doesn't expect Aspas to be that close. And that's a worrying sign, because he's going to do that a lot, and you've got to be ready for it.
There's either going to be immediate pressure onto Elbow in a lot of rounds. We've seen that with many teams. I think the example that always springs to my mind is how Heretics play it with the Pot Flash. You do the same thing with Breach. So either you're expecting fast elbow control, or you have to be ready for that push towards short, and he was completely unaware. Then just, again, a solid stun, but the rest is Aspas. The rest is why we put this guy in the bracket of the best. Like, it is so difficult to play against, and then there's just even the swing from the rest of the team. He's done the hard bit, but they're there to clean up the rest. Again, we've seen this in the previous map. The pause is being called by Trace before the problems, well, I don't want to say the problems haven't arisen, but before it gets too dangerous. Like, you've only lost one round that I would say that you have to be a little bit more careful with. The last round, you came in with weak weapons, you lost the round. It's not the end of the world. This one, you had your first full buy on the site, and you get decimated within 15 seconds.
Barriers up, players down. Trace have one last chance to touch in with the coaching staff, and a 2-round gap. It's not gone too far, like you say. Before it gets out of hand, this is where they want to.
Kind of okay with that, but
what it is.
I'm waiting to see. Once again, I think at this point it would be foolish to doubt the team of Trace. I think that we were foolish the first series, maybe even a little foolish in the first map. But that has long gone already. A good reveal, even a good stun. But Mazzino is going to win that initial fight. Tex has been traded out, even with these lower weapons. There's danger. In fact, they're going to use that Rolling Thunder to try and push the defense back. This has become a deathmatch server, except one team has only more pistols. There's always one, right?
Yeah, and one team has Aspas.
On a sure.
That's going to work for you most of the time, although Kai's managed to shut him down. 1 versus 3 now. Perhaps an opportunity with Mazzino low. Spotted up by the drone, swung on and sent packet. Eventually has to break the drone. Little reload to close it out. Okay. Check their positions on Leviathan. They're tucked in. They're letting him take the first move, and they'll shut him down right afterwards. Contact from Com, and then a triple or at least a double swing on whatever angle Kai decides. Say it's an uphill battle. I mean, when they play like this, it's an unwinnable one almost. Oh, if that shot had landed, perhaps.
The thing is, it's fine for Mazzino to do that. He's 5 HP. Like, if you don't hit the headshot, he gets to survive, and Com will close the round. Double digits. Leviathan getting closer and closer to a map 3. Maybe a place that the initial expectations weren't to be, but after the first, well, maybe even expectations back in the other direction. It was a 5-1 start that has now turned into a pretty healthy lead now. Again, the last time the defensive side had themselves a purchase, they got slaughtered. We'll see if they've been able to react.
Hopefully we won't see that same pace. Fung Fung over here, ready for the fight. But look who's going in, full pelt. It's Aspas. He's caught, well, he stunned himself. He stunned us many times with his individual ability. The paranoia kept him back for a moment. Now it's time to push right back into that site. In goes Anders Fury, and Aspas is shredding them, doing all the damage, making this ult look a lot stronger than it usually is. And he's got the firepower backing up every single duel. It's Kai left to do absolutely nothing. 3 kills for Aspas. And Trace's chances looking slim.
Yeah, they barely took any damage in that round. Normally we talk about this man's Jet. I think his Raze is a close second, and then, okay, he's a good Neil. He's a good Neil. Right now, he's been unstoppable. 21-9. The supportive utility as well. I love seeing him diving in alongside that Hunter's Fury. It means that anybody is slightly displaced, you need to be holding an angle ready to insta-headshot him, because he's sliding all over the place, moving at the speed of sound. And so the Hunter's Fury in combination makes it so hard to play against. Now that was a very good ult. I was about to say, we saw 3 players get pinged up immediately. I think there must have been either a combination flash or stun. I think it's definitely a stun.
Follow up onto Com. Weak weapons across the board. Okay, Mizzino's making a play. Trigger discipline on display. Got one, but that's it. Fong now activated. Tex, he tagged up by that nade, but he's not deterred. Still pushing forward. 2 players extremely low. One of them in this first crossfire. The firing squad takes it across the line. 8 for Trace. Their chances were slim, but that improves them a little bit.
Yeah, I guess the initial combo, a huge gamble. Like, just throwing that in immediately. I think there may have been a ping initially. Yeah, so it's the dart that's used straight away. Fantastic to catch them all. And then just the push up, I think maybe even a stun. Yeah, that's a gorgeous setup. That was all based on just that dart catching someone. Maybe they even do it anyway, just off contact, but that is a huge round from the initiators of this defensive side. It's one that isn't recreatable, though. The only thing I will say, they still have a lot of ults, and well, this is an early fight. How does he still get one?
Well, the stun certainly helped out. Might have saved the day. Push up from Trace on the back of the Rolling Thunder. They've gone through middle, but the paranoia sent them packing. One player had been caught by the Rolling Thunder as well, so definitely chopping up this defensive side aggression. However, Locking finding one puts the favor back on the defense. 3 players close, and the information there to play with. The attacking side executing's a different story. Seems like Trace have come back online at just the right time. 2 versus 4, and the info now in their hands.
Ooh, just getting out of there seemed like it would be difficult. They have managed it. All 4 players on this B side of the map, so
I have the spike.
They're able to move into this A site. They will be able to get themselves an afterplant.
Shadows traveling.
All the utility has pretty much been expended. An extra smoke is granted to King, but it's thrown down immediately. And you have to feel like this retake should be too difficult, but you never know.
I think they're deciding on whether to break that trap or just sit inside the smoke, and King's made the choice. No one's going to give him it, though. They're all going the other way. For a second, I thought Bianche would double back. They made the right call. Tech's already spotted. They don't know about King, but now they do. All the info there, but the kill's going the other way. Spike still needs to be defused. Kai does well, and the trap catches King eventually. Uses the Shrouded Step to try to fake them out, but Kai's not falling for that one. The defuse close, but just about enough time. 0.91, under a second. But Trace's dream's still alive on map number 2.
I feel so bad for him that the trip that he doesn't break is what ends up being his undoing. That is so cursed. None of them come in that direction. And all in all, it's a good play. Like, you want to sit there and go, okay, if anybody comes through this, they're not going to expect me just to be sat on the edge. Again, a lot of counter util being expended. Ultimates utilized, and more importantly, yeah, just some big plays to end it all out. With under a second, a nice attempt from the side of Leviathan, but a 2-round streak. Operator now in as well for Fong. We'll see. That could be the difference maker, because without the ultimates, they really haven't had any success in their rounds.
Felt like a third map was inevitable, certainly owed in a series like this. Trace don't want that. They're looking for their 2-0, still with a showstopper in play. Fong has that towards the A site. It's Leviathan. Setting up for the B site take. Stun goes through. Catches no one. It's quite a deep play from the defensive side. There's no ultimates for the attackers. They're just conceding this space. Probably knowing that if Feng Feng rotates, Showstopper can breach right back through whatever post plant's in play.
Well, 2 spotted, an immediate stun. Aftershock isn't quite deep enough. Will be countered immediately. The push onto the site. We'll garner them a plant, and the Showstopper's on the other side of the map. There's going to have to be a sprint from Feng Feng, and he's got to be aware as well that there is still a player lurking. In fact, a couple that could double up in a crossfire. Aspas is going to try again. This time he's caught, but so is Lord King as well.
The up rotate, checking the wrong angle as well. Tex able to grab one, and Kai is so desperately trying to pull this round back into their favor. King's gone down, and so's Mazzino. They know exactly where the last man is, but he gets the jump again. Out goes the cam, it's broken. He knows the defuse isn't underway, tries to stop it from getting the half. And while doing so, takes his 4th kill for a Red Bull clutch and map point.
He's definitely had his moments in this game as Tex, 18 and 16, but that might just be the best of them. A lurk of absurd impact, waiting so patiently to catch that first. You think a lot of the time when that door's closed that you would almost try and maybe push the spawn or reposition elsewhere. But he's confident in his team getting into the late game and then confident in his own ability to take it over the line. A meaningful clutch that puts them on map point, the potential to take this to Ascent, a map that both teams are incredibly comfortable on, and a great place to end this series.
Especially in the last round, considering they closed the door and they were stuck in market with so much utility coming at them. That's when you just don't think there's a lurker anymore. Like, why would the guy be sat there staring at a closed door? But that's why. He wanted the round under his belt, and a phenomenal time to step up to the plate. 12-9, 3 in a row for an overtime for Trace. We're going all the way to Ascent. Map that, like we said, definitely deserved to see a 3rd map from this series. Leviathan fighting for it. Showstopper fire, not landing. Aspas, he took the damage, but at least managed the trade out, and King still fighting for the backside control. Bianche caught off guard. It's Kai and Law King to do it all. The step out from Kai with the paranoia, but they're just evading him, dancing around this pillar, forcing the fight. This time, it seemed to go Trace's way. That's when King and Kong close out the map. 13-9.
This map, I think, versus other teams that they would have done, but it was basically both had the expectation the other wanted to play it, so they left it to this 3rd and final map. This is the best map, arguably, of either side at times. Maybe the Icebox for Leviathan, but it's going to be the attack side start. This is where you have high expectations from the side of Leviathan. They can lock off so many angles, create awkward positions using all of that utility, and already sweaty lineup.
Well, there goes the net. It's landing in a spot with no players. Same for the paranoia. Much closer angles being held by Trace on the site, around the door. Up top, Kai goes in for one, but doesn't find it. That's okay. He'll fall back to the site, and the rotate's underway from Bianche, but take a look at Leviathan. They're going elsewhere. The read is made by Trace. I don't know if they're going to get here quite in time, though. And in fact,
double.
It's a double fake.
Yeah, they've now locked them off on short as well. They've placed down the barrier. So it, obviously, the time of it may have run out at that point, but there's still very little information. The only thing that worries me a bit is how much time it's actually going to take them to get round to this position. Still a pot flash available for Hebe and a couple of shock darts, but those are not going to be anywhere near this fight.
Recons and smokes, angle sectioned off. They know the backside is under their control, but down below, still one lurking. It's Law King for the double, and he's eventually shut down. But the damage is done. The drop though from Hebe that gives a chance back to Leviathan. They need to plant. 10 seconds on the clock. And the shock dart, they're not quite landing for the damage. King safe from the reveal. That's a blind side and a win for Leviathan in the pistol. 1-0.
Yeah, there was no expectation that there was going to be a player up in heaven. The dart, even in hand, but just fired on the other side of the wood, and because of that, it doesn't actually reveal. They're expecting players down below. This seems to happen in almost every pistol where there's a player over on the Trace side who looks like they're dead to rights. Like maybe they get one kill and they still come out with a little bit more. But this time, Aspas is able to match them on it. The first pistol that goes the way of Leviathan. The exact start they were looking for coming into the final map.
Now round 2. A different buy to what we've seen from Trace every time they've won the pistol. There's been heavy investments. And for Leviathan, they've gone for 2 rifles, an SMG, and 2 pistols. So there's quite a bit of room for error. The margin is wide this time. Some players spotted getting a little bit aggro on A, and we're going to have the drone go through. It should be broken by Heyday before it can find too much information. And denied even the ability to clear out Wine. We're going to see Leviathan give up this angle and fall back towards middle.
Yeah, this is a nothing but utility round for the defense. So you kind of expect no kills, but they are stacking up in a manner that could cause issues. They're giving no information away, only the turret for contact, and everything else is just reliant on if they can get anything from this crossfire. The thing is, you expect there to be some counter utility. Paranoia is solid. It did catch one. Okay, that's not bad. At least a kill going their way. In fact, the second is there as well. Aspas, though, puts a pin in it. He's going to try and deny anything more, and even still, they managed a 3rd kill.
2 versus 2, not a bad situation for Trace to find themselves in, but the door closed, blocks out a player. Kai up in heaven, not even punished for the kill. Now Calm surrounded, and he can only get 1.
It's classics!
They might not win the pistol, but they sure as hell win the 2nd pistol. Their follow-up.
They bought nothing.
That's ridiculous.
They literally didn't buy anything. How have they managed to... Like, I thought the moment that Aspas got 3 kills, it's over now. It's over now. And then Kai just walks out and just manages to get a free kill onto him, blindsided. But this is... I don't know. This has to be one of the most embarrassing rounds I think LEV have lost in a long time. It was just classics. 1-to-1.
Information at times. Even here. Feng opened the door. They know.
Yes. Yes, there we go. Let the rage consume you.
That's a devastating loss. If they thought losing the pistols was bad, well, this is a slightly worse way to start it. Blade Storm active for Aspas.
Which is insane, by the way. To have a Blade Storm when you won 1 round and lost a round. Like, it's just nuts. It shows that he's still been carrying his weight. The rest of the buy stinks. And look at the other side. Look how much they have financially. Wow. And wow, this is the one time you needed a little bit more from him. Feng as well. Now, of course, worth mentioning, from Raze to Killjoy, it's the switch up of duelists, but both seem comfortable in their alternate roles. I will say, I'm quite excited to see Kai on the duelist because he has looked filthy playing over in China.
Yankee picking up 1. Feng overextends eventually, but it's being cleaned up across the board. Just a 1 loss. And a gorgeous start to this 3rd map for Trace. And I have to say, you can see already that they have the ideas. They sort of knew what Leviathan were going to go for there. Feng playing way back so the Paranoia didn't catch him, and then he's able to quickly execute on Aspas, who was dashing in to try and catch him off guard. But there was no one caught off guard on the side of Trace, and the Blade Storm falls flat.
That is the cool thing with the idea, though, from Leviathan, is a lot of the time they combine that Paranoia with a net in the exact position that he tried to hold from. It's just further back. So it's definitely, like, there is a plan. That time wasn't put into play, but there is now a purchase back up. Now, information is known from either side. King is throwing down smokes in middle, giving space to others. In the meantime, something we're going to see quite regularly, I'd imagine, is this B push from Kai. He loves to take deep control, and it allows for them to have much earlier rotations. Heyday, though, has to escape.
Avoids the net that was thrown through just seconds later. And the orb gifted to Calm, now just 1 away from a Hunter's Fury. Big round for Leviathan, and they're on the rotate. Looks like they'll attempt to get some space with Tex later on, and well, his timing is going to be key. If Kai swings into him, he might have a chance. If he swings into Kai, I don't believe he will. And with a trap in hand, it got dangerous. In fact, he has trapped him.
That's actually brilliant.
Precision.
He was like, okay, what's the chance of someone just holding on the edge of my trip? I'll put it down just slightly deeper and take the other one back. Clever stuff. The problem is, look at the stack. There's still 3 players here. It's only that 1 operator on the defense, but they start rotating away. They start pulling back. It will leave just 2 here to hold, and in fact, make that just 1. Looking the same as the pistol, needs to go big. The rotation has come through from above, but it's going to be an all-out brawl. Aspas, King combining, and Aspas again, leaving Kai, well, to save.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to want to risk this operator, is he? 4 players left alive for Leviathan. They don't have a sense that he's saving just yet, but they will eventually. I'm not sure, you know, he got revealed and he had the op in hand. It just depends if someone was staring him down and got to see that big gun in play. But he hasn't had a chance to flex it just yet. No one's stepping into his crosshair. For Leviathan, right back on the horse, tying it up 2-2, and after a pretty horrible way to start out the half, they have at least got themselves a little bit of momentum stolen from Trace. Problem is, because of that rough start, Trace will be buying right back up.
I do think as well that's just a read. Like, if you've watched Trace play this before, if you've seen Kai play before, he's a big fan of the sniper. Like you'll be excited because there's high potential. He pulls out the Outlaw on the attack. Like, he loves just going for those mid-fights. I even saw them have a second round buy, which was a double Outlaw attack, and then had some SMGs alongside it just to sort of pad the gap. But I think that is just the guys over on Leviathan doing their research, knowing that he likes to push B main, knowing that he likes to take that control, and just forcing him back. And even though they did manage to get the players back in position to fight it, they were too far forward. They forced them into a box and then put them up against the bodyguard of Aspas, who is now 8-2.
Well, there's the op shining through eventually. Tex is the one to fall right off rip. Dodging the initial spam, Hunter's Fury sent through, reveal, decent. Not able to track Hebe though. And the pulses ultimately falling flat from that ultimate. Kai not able to land the shot either. The Cloud Burst offering a little bit of protection. Moment of solace for Leviathan. The shock dart decent. The plant could be secured. Although, Trace are very quick to break all the utility. Door open, barrier gone. Or door mostly broken. It's not quite fully. And they're on the run from this annihilation. At least they should be.
Oh, no! It's going to be the catch. I don't know if they have time to break it. They should, but it doesn't matter. All too easy. The sensors are going to catch them as they look to make their way back into the site. Kai, though, he's gone from operator to Odin and somehow made it work. Back to the operator again. I don't know what that was. That was maybe the greatest juggling we've ever seen. If that was an Outlaw, Mitch would be on the floor.
That was absolutely gorgeous, Tom. You know what? I love it when someone swaps out the big, expensive gun for the big, quite also expensive gun. They haven't saved it, though. That's a mark against their good name. Irrespective, what a round from Kai. The opening shot, precise. Although the Annihilation manages to take down Bianche, that didn't slow them at all. They knew there was someone down below, and Kai was hunting them down relentlessly, runs the ammo dry, and goes straight back in for more. That is a confident player if ever I've seen one. 3-2. Leviathan have at least some credits to fall back on. It's not going to be easy here. Light shields across the board, and early on a ton of information for Trace. They're playing a risky game against this operator, and the flash is good, but the shot lands for King.
Yeah, it leaves them with a disadvantage, but also it doesn't look like Leviathan are going to overface this one. They're happy to just take that control, even have a sensor available to set up King if he needs it, and the rest of the team are going to go pushing around the other side of the map. And you can see the defense have fully rotated already, leaving just Low King over on a short.
Take flight.
He might be the one that's going to come under some serious pressure here. Although, as said, Leviathan, after getting that man advantage, are very comfortable to just feel out the map.
That's exactly what they're doing. The A site will be their ultimate target. You can already see the rotation from Recon online. It's been an essential part of how they take this A site. Recon up, dash in, try to get Aspas the opportunity to take a kill from inside his Cloud Burst while they're being revealed.
Left.
I think we're going to see much the same this time. Smoke for left. Nice shot by Law King, though. He's kept control over short. The reveal will give them all the info. There's no one here. A site wide open. Oh, but the flank! Not expected! That's a massive oversight from Leviathan.
He double shrouded step up the top of mid, so didn't make the step noises. And I don't know if that just completely caught Cobb off guard, or Maybe he was just tunnel visioned in, but now they're going to try and fight more aggressively. There's 3 players. Bladestorm activated. Mizzino, again, we've seen this so many times. That stun causing issues. Over the top goes Kai, and then the trade is there. It's all onto Mizzino.
Oh,
fighting 1 versus 3. He knows where they're defusing. He's trying to catch him with the spam, but it's not accurate. It's not on. He's not getting anything. He's defusing right in front of him. And Biang is even there to close the round. We're seeing ludicrous play after ludicrous play. Give me those TPs. Give me the TPs of him just going up top mid.
Take some gold to just shrouded step straight through. Here he is, finding the kill.
He literally just, used 2 shrouded steps. You can see he's got none online just to get to top mid.
Through.
No, he didn't sprint.
He didn't sprint. He stepped.
But you can understand why. You can understand why you'd just be fooled by such an aggressive play.
Yankee rattling off those Odin shots as well, sectioning players and taking them down in the end. Leviathan have called a timeout. This half certainly hasn't gone as they wanted. That didn't stop them from taking the previous map.
Then they dominated G2 last time out. And I think, as we've seen throughout, they were 5-1 down in the last map. Pause taken in the half 7-5. So let's not even get close to counting them out just yet.
Barriers back up. Post pause for Leviathan. They've been picking up rounds most of the time. Here on the attack, they look to close the gap, but it's pistols
I must wait a
and
moment.
SMGs, and they need to be very cautious. Yankee, hungry for a battle, waiting for contact, but soon he's going to run out of patience, and, well, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. They're all here. He hears the drone go out, and now the spams, but the Sheriff's on the other side, doing damage, forcing him back. There's the reveal, but they're safe behind the box. Shock darts about to be sent through. But the close one almost takes down Aspas. 15 HP. Yankee not even checked on the way in, but Tex is able to drop him. Aspas on 15 isn't dead. He's still going to be able to take a fight or two, and they need to be very cautious about the amount of damage. If Leviathan takes site control, there's upgraded weapons, there's post plants. This could get terrifying in the end, and Tex firing off shots. King joins him. 1 versus 2. Winnable. But Kai saves the day. Damage done, but another round for Trace.
Yeah, decent damage, and they had to bait out the Omen ult as well, just to enforce the back of the site. Even still, though, no real trouble economically for Trace. Maybe a couple of orbs up here and there. Annihilation available for Mizzino, which we've already seen in post-plant scenarios, has its benefits. This time, though, it looks like after the last round being relatively successful, I don't really blame Leviathan for going, all right, let's run it back with guns.
Why not? Get the counter spam in the Odin. And listen, if anyone knows about this, it is Calm. Captured my heart early on this map. The further back position from Bianchi, finding damage. He's lit Aspas to 50. I think Aspas is getting pretty tired of having an entry on low HP. And now with the rifles, it's even worse. Lockdown used very early on from the side of Trace. Usually you'll see this even in retakes, but they're using it just to stop these players from pushing out.
Oh.
And then the Hunter's Fury catches them on the way back. This was the plan all along. 1 kill and very close to more, sending them into Kai's waiting arms, and he's swinging out. He's going wide, and oh, he's in danger, but he's made it out alive.
There's so much damage done, even to Com. Left on 49 HP, but yeah, the goal was to force them back. The goal was to push them into Kai. The Hunter's Fury even utilized seemingly as a bonus. This time, though, Mizzino's not going to fall for the same trick twice. Now he's going to use that Annihilation. Low King caught. It leaves an isolated Feng Feng on the side. First goes his way, but he takes a lot of damage. The spray's not pretty. An opportunity from the brink of defeat in this round has presented itself to Leviathan at the hands of Mizzino.
He's trying to wall bang with the operator, and He's wall banging with the Phantom. Caught the kills and left Tex all alone. 51 HP, a 1 versus 2. Kai is at least low, but Hebei has been consistent. He might be able to isolate a fight, but in fact, he's the one that's isolated, dropped by the operator's scope. And 6-2 on the board for Trace. A massive round for this squad now with Leviathan's credits decently low.
I think this guy is very quickly going to become one of the most fearsome operator players in the game. Like, which it says a lot when you're in the same region. This guy can. Like, it really does, but
30 seconds left.
there's a reason that I was excited to see this Jet battle after a couple of maps. Bear in mind, he goes from playing a Cypher, playing super passive, like having these defensive setups, looking for basically, oh, this trip's going to catch someone in, and then I'm going to basically that. I'm going to wide swing the guy when I'm low on HP, full confidence. Now, Aspas is only going this round, get the orb. And hopefully not from being shot, because otherwise he's not going to have the Blade Storm for this round.
Get out there.
Well, there's Aspas. Blade Storm online, rifles for the rest. It should be a relatively close round in terms of packing a punch, but again, avoiding Kai. A big part of the early game. Odin still spraying away over towards B main, making some noise. And how did Leviathan plan to bypass all of this? Aspas is definitely making some space for the squad, but the spike still sitting back on mid, and some aggression in A main tells me this is just going to be a fake.
Yeah, they're trying to bait a rotation. It's possible that they have. Can't really be a check into middle. They're selling the idea that this is going to be a B split, but there hasn't been any maneuver whatsoever. Also bear in mind, null command is available. This ultimate could be gone. In fact, not even needed. It's going to be the knife that does it instead. You'd think this would hold to them, but it doesn't. Instead, it's the swing. Heibei goes out. Already, they know all the information. They haven't spotted Low King either. And now it leaves everything onto Tex. He doesn't have a lot of time. And they know exactly where he is.
Well, his teammate's gone, and he has closed the door with the spike on the other side. He knows he doesn't have time to win this, but oh no! The 180 on a dime with the Odin. And that actually manages the operator save as well. That would have been big economic damage at least. 7-2. I can hardly believe my eyes here, Tom. This much of a lead this early on. We need to see Leviathan come up with an answer, and they need to come up with one fast.
Oh, the utility in this round from Heibei was everything. First things first, the knife takes away the Blade Storm. Just as they're about to entry, literally the second they're about to entry, they lose the Blade Storm. They're already committed. There's 26 seconds left. He pops the ult, makes sure that they won't have any abilities back for pretty much the rest of the take. And then he throws out Pop Flash and takes two with him. It's a tough spot. Aspas, because he didn't buy last round, will have a rifle in this round, and well, who's surprised? God, he's going back for a little bit more. This man has no fear. Even a third bite of the cherry. Has to be a bit careful here.
Here.
Yeah, they're nice and close. Pistols are going to be happy to take those fights. His fourth shot doesn't find its mark. He's been doing a lot of spamming. Now he's at a nice, safe distance. Kept himself outside of arm's reach for these weaker weapons. On short, double stacked up. Law King's contact will have an immediate response from Heibei. Backside B being defended. They're all the way in Boathouse, and Calm's almost lost his life. He goes back out. He goes and looks for a fight with the Sheriff. It's a brave play. I mean, you look at this map, you would be forgiven for thinking it's a death match. I mean, the attackers are in defender spawn on both sides of the map. They've got a lot of space, but this is calculated. Trace, no, they can't get a plant. They're just trying to force them into a site push where these rifles can have the advantage.
It's going to be tough to clear. And if they are going to run it back,
around the world,
it has to be now. Now, Tex has made it into the site. Heaven in here, and the read is completely wrong. Trace have now stacked 4 players up. Kai is the only one here. For him to go down would be atrocious, but I don't even know if they're going to clear this. In fact, he unscopes. Now here's the plant. Doesn't know that Tex is this close, and he's going to be dead to rights. That's an operator into the hands. This is one of the best chances LEV have got, but he's immediately traded.
They're going for the op. They're running it down. Okay, they'll retrieve it as well with the smoke. Calm's got it. 54 HP. Bogdan's happy. But we need someone to step up to the plate. A weak weapon on King. He's been good on the headshots. And he's good again! Oh! The double up! Bianchi tries to pull this back. The Odin spots both players, and they'll rush onto that spike, start the defuse, put the pressure on, try to split them in two, and that's exactly what they've done. The jump up from Aspas, it's already happened, a double swing to close it. It got way too close, but the recovery is there in the end. And the streak of rounds for China's number 3. They're leading 8-2.
That round had so many things that went wrong for Trace. The initial rotation, the misread after giving up so much control. Leviathan finds space with Tex. They even kill off the superstar of Kai. And then you have this huge double coming up from King. But Bianchi just holding the line. The quick read to get back in to kill off Aspas. Moments that seem to just lead to disaster for Leviathan. I said after pauses last time, that was normally when there was a turnaround. Well, they've lost 6 rounds in a row. They need the last couple.
They really do.
We'll be honest. I think this one was meant to be the shoo-in. This was the one that everybody looked at and went, okay, Leviathan are in playoffs. Congratulations to them. But the whole way through, Trace have been competitive. Their weaker map of Sunset, they still made it close. Bind fought tooth and nail, and now they sit on Ascent, 8-2 in the lead with a 6-round streak. And we're looking at Leviathan and saying, what have you got? You're America's number 1. You have 2 champions winners. One looking for a repeat. And let's be honest, the rest of the players on that team are not slouches. Already the reveal attempting to do quite a bit of damage, but there is going to be a response. While the retreat not going to be punished.
Well, they're certainly worried about someone being up close. All the shock darts and recon sent out in this round. Leviathan have cleared that control. Paranoia, well, it's almost just to do that. Cause paranoia amongst the ranks. Leviathan are spread, looking for an advantage anywhere. They haven't tried this all too often. But again, the patience of Trace is showing off, shining through.
Barrier deployed.
Makes me nervous getting this low on the clock.
20 seconds. Look, Spike
20
is
seconds.
mid.
Spike mid. They haven't even broken the alarm bot yet. Now that's going to be the reveal. An immediate TP from both sides. That's going to put another player in the boathouse. 10 seconds. They haven't even got close. They've got to get past an Odin. This is looking messy. They need to go right now, and they're going to get slaughtered. It has to be the plan. They have this happen. In fact, I think he let go. I don't know if he's going to get this one. It doesn't even matter. It's absolutely ridiculous. Leviathan are falling flat on their face. The number 1 from Americas. Wow. They're number 2 in this game.
Well, right after a pause, Tom, they get to the site with 5 seconds left and start the plant and then reposition it? There's no time. It was done. You saw the round win pop up. No one needed to defuse. That one was done before it got started. That's a big mistake. That's not one you can be making this deep in a series. In that round, an essential win.
Yeah, as said, they're the ones with experience on this stage. They're the ones with players of high caliber, and right now they're the ones looking outclassed. A new boy on the block in Trace. An organization coming into VCT China, coming into Champions as their first look. And right now, well, it looks like they've been here for years, looking to make their way to join some pretty impressive teams over in the playoffs. Heretics up there. Another team of youngsters.
Spike down mid.
And right now, well, Kai, it doesn't even look like he needs support. He's going to go in for a little bit more. He's looking for style points at this point. Had support from his teammate this time after a miss, but even still, yeah, of course he's going back in for more. Why wouldn't he? Yet to take a point of damage. He's looking to put a 10th round on the board, and finally he's been put down. But does it matter? Absolutely not.
10 rounds on the board at the half. This team, painted as the underdog, well, they are most certainly on top right now. America's number 1 pushed to 3 maps, but now pushed to 10-2. We'll see if they can recover in the next half.
that, hey, okay, Bianca, we knew him. We knew him before. But Kai is making himself known, I'd say.
Not a lot of people had this result on the board. I think maybe Artis predicted this, but yeah, double digits for Trace. I think this is a surprise, to say the least. And now, on the cusp of victory, they've won every pistol bar, the one where they won the follow-up. And it looks like we're getting into the same boat. It's Aspas immediately eliminated, and the paranoia used to save them from being pushed down.
Where is he going?
Kai has gone running straight through, and the punish is there. A sense of normality, but with the B aggression, the site is now wide open.
He's gone rogue. At this point, I can't imagine that was the plan. But even still, they're going to come out with an advantage. The first pistol that Leviathan won was off Aspas with a 3K. He had a Blade Storm by round number 3. Oh, they're going to need a different hero to step up. King's had his moments. Fong Fong is so far away. He's only just making his presence from behind them. Like, this is such a ridiculous lurk that I don't know if they're even going to question. He's still behind them. They've got to clear the players on the side. They have more pressing matters to attend to than this man sneaking up on the flank. A third kill up, but Com, alongside Mazzino, have done well. They've made this one competitive. They made it possible. It comes down to one, and actually, they've made this one work. They've got enough time to get that defusal over the line somehow. From that position, Leviathan have got a lifeline.
A lifeline indeed, 10-3. That's now both pistols under Leviathan's belt, and, well, that's...
Nope, it's not happening again.
You don't think so?
Nope.
The classics?
No shot.
All right.
No, there's no way. If that happens twice, we just end the streak. We just end it. We turn it
11-3,
off.
game over.
That's where it finishes.
We're going
if
home.
It happens, you know,
One enemy remaining.
everybody on watch parties just agrees that, no, actually, I'll get fired if I say that. All watch parties will click stop streaming.
No, don't, hold on. Don't do that. Please don't do that. 10-3.
I reckon Finesse is down.
Trace with double digits on the board. And they've gone for mostly classics.
They've got one sheriff. It's not happening this time.
Wow,
that's
they're
a shame.
trolling. They're
Yeah.
throwing. The 5 classic buy, they win it. But that sheriff, it could be the curveball. But in all seriousness, yeah, Leviathan need this round. It looks like Trace are going to play right into their hands. The full utility setup, not just from Deadlock, but from Cypher as well. Camera inside B main. They have everything waiting for this B push. And, indeed, you can see Mazzino's got a net in his hands. The second they make noise, net goes in, and you're completely stopped, which means Kai has no support. Really nice setup by Leviathan.
Yeah, it's always going to be difficult walking into this setup.
Over there.
Well, Mazzino, he knows his spots. For looking, not really a lot of expectations. As I said, this is how these rounds are supposed to go. Com even playing the
30
Odin.
seconds left.
He's got to be careful. He does still have light shield, so the Sheriff from any distance will be there to finish him off. But with Aspas watching the cross, they have thought of everything. They've got every angle covered. King just waiting for anybody to try and attempt the plant. And actually, they are going to get a plant. Fair enough. That's at least something. A few extra credits.
Yeah. For that side of Leviathan, confident they can win the fights. And as you can see, it's not misplaced confidence. The follow-up round for Leviathan. This pistol and second has doubled up their numbers on this map so far, and Trace have hit a bit of a roadblock. I will say, again, Mazzino, you're insane for buying the Ares. The weapon is trash. An Ares and Odin buy in second round. Y'all got love hearts in my eyes right now, but it's the net as well. The fact that you have the dash, and the point is that you can immediately follow up with the other two players. He's creating a bit of space, and they're swinging with him at least a second or two later. Not possible when that net hits them all.
Over there.
Bianca likes the odds, and he's bought one for himself. He's going to try and I would say counter, but he's not gone to B.
Yeah.
Going for the early setup. And they're walking into Mazzino once again. Now, bear in mind, the weaponry, not the best. But LEV would be a huge stepping stone back into the match if they can win this with the weaponry that they have. Shock darts are being utilized to clear out a lot of that utility. One of the major things with the sensors is a lot of teams, in fact, most teams will play Jet on this map, and you go dashing out and you're immediately stunned. So the fact that that's removed sells an idea But here you go. I saw that Odin. I was thinking an A site Odin. Bit weird. They're going back towards that B site.
Decent for post plant, but now the call's being made. They know that there's a player spamming. They know where he was, but they'll be a little bit late to the party. Shift walk up. You have to put some faith in the fact that if Calm starts spraying, if Yankei can trade it out, he's actually going to be the first one to start spraying away. The site under pressure. It's Tex inside his cages. Dash in. Good for Kai. He's got control on the right side. Putting pressure on. Aspas toying with the idea of going through. Only has a Guardian, and now the door is closed on him. It's Calm on backside. Odin in hand, and he doesn't last a second. In fact, it's Bianca to wallbang him out of the round. 5 versus 2. Looking for their 11th round. And what would be another nail in Lev's coffin for sure. Putting them to bed here and now, 11-4, locked in.
And it's clean. A flawless round for the side of Trace. A great way to kick things off with their economy. As said, that was a weaker purchase. But just how clean everything is, the utility in support, the spams as well, actually just immediately ruined. And then just meeting Com in his angle and fighting him back with the Odin.
2 wallbang kills as well in that round. Both of the players on B side didn't even get to see a player. They just got shot straight through.
There's no margin for error. A loss here would destroy the economy of LEV and mean they need 8 rounds in a row. The net has been dodged, and actually, they seem like they know that King's there. It's not worth the gamble, and there has been a push from the defense on the other side of the map.
More rounds for Trace. And a slow start to this one. They know Annihilation is online for Mizzino. An ult you definitely have to be cautious of. It's hit most of the time for either squads that it's being deployed. Barring, I think, 1 on bind. Smoke down as King runs away, concedes the space. They're beckoning them in. Once that, there you go, once it's broken, the little barrier, take a look at the sonic sensor on A site. This is, like you were saying earlier, Tom, for the dash. But Trace are making noise there and going the exact opposite direction. There'll be a challenge. It's going to be Kai against Aspas. This could be the round decided. If Kai goes down, then they're in trouble.
Mind.
Instead, it's Aspas who falls immediately. Oh, almost catching them on the cross, and in fact, catching them on the way out. Tex completely unaware. Annihilation goes through, but it looks like we'll have a counter spam, some utility perhaps.
It was immediately broken, but it doesn't seem to matter. The time now starting to tick, and they are fighting back into this one, leaving it all onto King. Lockdown going to be used, but he's looking to fight the site. In fact, he can get onto this one without too many problems. The first shot connected. They need a little more, and he's going to get it as well. Leviathan needed a hero. Only one king can wear that crown.
Stepping up when they need him the most. Their back was most certainly against a wall here. Late play through mid, catching them off guard. Same thing that we just saw. Working away of Trace, and my goodness, he's playing it up to the crowd. 11-5, still a long road back into this, and relying on individual performances is never going to be consistent. But they've managed to take some dangers out of the arsenal of Trace. In particular, Lockdown no longer there. There won't be an easy way into the A site. Annihilation for Mizzino has fallen, but Calm back up with a Hunter's Fury. And that's an ult in his hands that you rarely see miss its mark.
Oh, here comes that attack side operator. Kai is looking for this fight once again, looking for Aspas this time. The Brazilian will live to tell the tale. On the other side, a very different setup. The hero of the last round dropped down to a judge, but if anything, in some cases, it might be considered an upgrade.
Back up Blade Storm for Kai if he needs it. It's a slow walk up through A short. Drone stopped early. Not able to find any information really, and the counter drone will go through. This one focused on middle again, which hasn't really been held by Leviathan in most of these rounds. It's a much more passive hold around that angle. But after sneaking a player through there last round, it makes sense that they want to clear it and see if anyone's filled in that gap. Still, it's pretty open. Bar a passive play from Calm. Orb taken. Didn't get the ult quite online, but just one away, and the shot from Kai dodges with the dash. Hunter's Fury fired through, and it's got one. Hey, bait just before the ult comes in, so he can't be rezzed.
Zeno's gone though. That leaves Com to try and make a play above the smoke. Doesn't want to overextend. It will be a post plant. I don't think there's anything that can be done about that. The second shock dart might do a little bit of damage. And some counter being put in. Kai not willing to give up this fight again. He's going to meet his opponent of Aspas and win another battle. But that Odin's still doing damage. Still making this one competitive. As Tex looks to try and jump down, he's caught by utility. They know that he's done it. The spam almost trying to act as a distraction, but both players now sat towards the generator and a full wraparound from Kai, just waiting in the backlines. Tex with everything to do, and he has no idea that there's still another man there. 12-5, 7 chances for one of the greatest upsets we've ever seen.
And no matter what you thought about this squad coming in, how much promise they showed, and even after the match versus Vitality, this, it has to be said, is a massive over-deliver for this squad. Beating Leviathan 2-1, 2-0, that's a big accomplishment. They are grinding them down to dust here.
I was messaging good old Ryan Central, the man who watches every game of Try, and he's like, I think they could give them a run for their money. I think they could give them a match. But I don't think a 12-5 was ever on the cards. Maybe he'll tell me otherwise. 3-man stack, weaponry weak. The only advantage they have is the fact there's plenty here and the damage they've just done.
Kai barely holding on to his life. 8 HP, it is a lot of damage. Tex tagged low. And the weak weapons across the board. It's not looking great. Com's just been wall banged down. A taste of his own medicine. Bianche's been doing this a lot here on the attack side, and the reward is massive. Rotation underway from Mazino. That's the one main rifle that they have to work with. And a nasty trap setup from Aspas. But if he gets greedy, they've pumped the brakes, they haven't moved. Someone's got to check it eventually. And if he does, they are ready and waiting. But the patience might pay off. He gets Kai, but that's it. Shut down after just one. The trades not coming through for Leviathan. Tex trying his best. 5 shots and a stinger down to the classic. And the Odin spray gets him. It's all on King. 1 versus 2. He clutched it out before. And now has the Vandal to work with. Time ticking, damage done. And he's being pushed back.
Desperately trying to get this kill before he has the chance to isolate the battle. The plant is that moment as he looks for the swing. Nothing connected just yet, but he's definitely tagged a little lower. Isolating these jewels is not going to be easy. They play this one together, and it seems like it's all over. King gets that first spot, but now they know exactly where he is. They're going to try and play this, and they almost line up, but almost doesn't win anything.